Skeptics Review, The Bible, by John Smith. So I guess I had James Cameron's The Exodus Decoded in my Netflix, because I got it in the mail the other day. Talk about a way overproduced piece of garbage. I think James Cameron lost a few points in my mind for even being associated with this one. I didn't have to go far to find refutations of the movie. One of the first search results led me to the Associates for Biblical Research page. So, a website dedicated to supporting the authenticity of the Bible. They deconstruct, piece by piece and relic by relic, and date by date, how the movie is along the lines of the Da Vinci Code. The article is truly masterful, unlike the movie itself. It's ironic in the extreme to me that I found it at a religious site. Just thought I'd share that with you guys. Remember, John Smith watches these movies, so you don't have to. Exodus 38. Warning! Expository dialogue information dump ahead. Please wear a hard hat. Also, for all of your information dump needs, go to UncleBoogersBumperDumper.com. Bucket sold separately. Side effects of BumperDumper.com may include 90s website itis. So returning to our text, Bezalel and Oholiab, who the Lord had imbued with making stuff superpowers, remember, were still hard at work making stuff out of acacia or shittim wood, and all of the gold and silver and brass loot that Lord Yahweh had told Moses, who had told the people to give, but only if they wanted to make all of Lord Yahweh's stuff on his grocery list that Moses had written down or chiseled down, that Lord Yahweh decided he didn't want to just poof into existence himself. Maybe omnipotent Lord Yahweh was resting or something, I don't know. The infallible, divinely inspired Holy Book doesn't tell us. Suffice to say, it's pretty much a detailed repeat of what we already read that Lord Yahweh had Moses write down in previous chapters, except this time, Bezalel and Oholiab were actually building the stuff on God's giant grocery list. Altars and basins and tents. Oh my! Bezalel and Oholiab had their hands full. Next, the divinely inspired, infallible Holy Book thinks it's important to tell us exactly how much loot the Israelites brought to these two making stuff dudes, in quantities of gold and silver and bronze, which weigh more than the weight capacity of some elevators I've been in lately. I can only imagine that's a lot. So I've asked this question before and I'll ask it again. The Israelites have looted the Egyptians so far and encountered the Amalekites, and that's it. Where did they get all of this loot from? Unless they attacked and sacked a bunch of people not mentioned so far. And they don't have gold earrings anymore, i.e. golden calf melted down, Moses made him drink it, yada yada yada. Remember, these are the same people who've been belly aching about food and water this whole time and didn't have the foresight to bring all that stuff with them. Exodus 39. Anyway, so Bezalel and Oholiab keep making things, like Aaron's bejeweled shirt and Aaron's son's garments. Hey, I've got an idea. In chapter 39, let's play a drinking game. Every time the phrase, "just as the Lord commanded Moses," or some slight variation comes up, drink a shot of something. Each of the 12 jewels in the front of Aaron's breastplate signified the sons of Jacob. Remember those guys? The Jacob bunch? Those rapscallions. They definitely needed their own show. Look at that. We're not even past verse 1. We already need to take a shot. This is going to be difficult. Man, we really need Carson Kressley from Queer Eye for the Straight Guy to narrate some of this stuff since it's so very fabulous. Oh my god, look at all the jewels. So we're still in the single-digit verses and we need to take 2 more shots. Carson Kressley, go. They mounted 4 rows of precious stones on it. In the first row, they mounted a ruby, a topaz, and a garnet. In the second row, an emerald, a sapphire, and a diamond. In the third row, a turquoise, an agate, and an amethyst. And in the fourth row, a beryl, a carnelian, and a jasper. Each of these 12 stones had engraved on it the name of one of the sons of Jacob, in order to represent the 12 tribes of Israel. Uh-oh, you gotta take 2 more shots now. Try and keep up, man. We're not even through the bejeweled shirt of Aaron yet. We still gotta go through all of his son's clothes, so... Okay, so they made a shirt for Aaron and his sons, and the turbans and the caps and the sash, and uh-oh, take a drink. They made an ornament, the sacred sign of dedication, out of pure gold, and they engraved on it, dedicated to the Lord. Uh-oh, take a drink. And then they got to the tent of the Lord's presence, and take a drink. They brought Moses the tent and all the equipment, its hooks and frames, crossbars, and the covenant box, the table, all its equipment, and the bread, the lampstand and lamps, oil for the lamps, the gold altar, the anointing oil, the sweet swelling incense, the curtains, the bronze altar, and we got to take 2 more drinks on this page. Hope you're keeping up. You guys got to tough it out, man. We only got 1 more chapter to go. So I guess this is the last time you'll hear me saying this in my Mr. Burns voice. Exodus, chapter 40. Lord Yahweh gave more instructions to lightning bug head Moses about how he wanted Moses to conduct himself in this fancy new tent, with all of Lord Yahweh's fancy new expensive toys. Aaron and his sons had to bathe and wear their special clothes and anoint themselves with sweet swelling incense and whatnot. Moses did everything the Lord commanded. Take a drink. He did all the stuff that Lord Yahweh told him to do, just as Lord Yahweh commanded. Take a drink. And Moses continued to do the things just as Lord Yahweh commanded. Take a drink. He put the table in the tent on the north side outside the curtain and placed on it the bread offered to the Lord, just as the Lord had commanded. Take a drink. He put the lampstand in the tent on the south side opposite the table, and there, in Lord Yahweh's presence, he lit the lamps, just as the Lord had commanded. Take a drink. And then he burned the sweet swelling incense, just as the Lord had commanded. Take a drink. He hung the curtain at the entrance of the tent, and there in the front of the curtain he placed the altar for burning offerings. On it he sacrificed the burnt offerings and the grain offerings, just as the Lord had commanded. Take a drink. So then Moses put the wash basin between the tent and the altar and filled it with water. Moses, Aaron, and his sons washed their hands and feet whenever they went into the tent, just as the Lord had commanded. Take a drink. So finally, Moses had finished all of his work, and thank God, because I'm starting to get a little tipsy here. So in conclusion, Lord Yahweh filled the tent with his omnipresence in the form of a cloud during the day and as a column of fire at night. As long as the people could see the cloud and the column of fire, the people were assured of Lord Yahweh's omnipresence and were confident that he would not abandon them. Hey, thanks, God. And that ends Exodus.